Coleraine Football Club is about to embark on an exciting new era. The club recently announced plans for pitch and stadium redevelopment, and we're delighted to say that I'm joined today by three players who will need no introduction to supporters: the legendary Dessie Dickson, Frankie Moffatt and Ivan Murray. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We're out on the pitch for the last time. Within hours it's going to be lifted and a 4G surface put down. I suppose that shows the ambition and professionalism of the club and indeed the standards of the Irish League now.
Well, I think there's no good looking backwards now. When you look at the standard of other grounds and the development that's happening with the other clubs, Coleraine just have to keep pace to be able to compete in the future.
And obviously Oren has mentioned the playing surface and the style of football he wants to play. We're out in this today, it is bumpy. The 4G surface will suit his style of play. Dessie.
Oh, I'll come in, it's on 4G and they get used to it. Probably is used to their 4Gs and other pitches and northern there.
And Ivan, we're also talking about stadium redevelopment. You know, as we look around, the Jack Doherty stand, the terracing, none of these things were here in your playing days.
No, no, they needed umbrellas in those days as well. I don't know when it's finished. I think it'll be a super job.
Facilities were very basic back in your days.
Very much so. It was just grass, hills, mounds around the ground, and a flat area for people to walk around. No terracing, no anything like that.
But nevertheless, I'm sure we could stand all day talking about your memories, both playing here and generally with the club.
Well, playing here was obviously the ambition of any young lad from the town, and once you'd done it, you know, you were just delighted to have been able to do that. But you know, it's something that again, the club just has to move forward, and they have to make the change.
And Dessie, you mean record goal scorer, you're manager of the club, and probably one of the biggest games I ever seen here, crowd-wise, when Spurs came to visit. A lot of happy memories.
Good memories. But when these lads, when we were all playing together, we had great memories too. We won trophies. A lot of trophies won the All-Ireland Dickson twice. So that was good memories.
And even the camaraderie exists to this day.
Without doubt. It's, as I say, the whole thing started when Bertie Peacock came. One of the Irish Cup in '65 sort of took it on because you had players coming in from there, from Belfast and all over the place. They all wanted to play for Coleraine.
And you mean you've all been part of successful trophy winning teams. What stands out the most? Not even in terms of winning trophies, are there any memories, individual personalities that you'll take from your times at the Showgrounds?
Well, for me, I was thinking earlier, and I mentioned to you, the first time I ever won a trophy as a manager of a team was here, managing Cologne the Saturday Morning Cup. And the first trophy I won at Port Stewart was here from the Northwest Cup. So again, not only in the playing side, but the managing side, This place brings back very happy memories.
And yourself, Ivan and Dessie, what would stand out in particular?
I think I scored 3 against Kilmarnock, that would have stood out in my. But we also won Irish Cups. And as I say, Blacksmith, we won Blacksmith twice. Them was good memories.
And working with Bertie Peacock, of course, the late Bertie.
Yeah, working with Bert. The biggest one for me would be winning the league. I think that was. Everybody's trying to win it now. And other teams are picking up Larns, up in there, Crusaders, etc.
It seems remarkable that the club has only won it once back in 1974, and it remains the Holy Grail.
Well, it is very much so, but if you look back at that era, the teams that we were competing with were fantastic sides at Glentoran and Linfield. But we ourselves, probably when we look back, we would say that we had it in our hands a couple of occasions and threw it away. And you know, we can't find a reason for that. It just happened. We lost to teams probably that we thought we should have beaten.
And you mentioned earlier on about a record that still exists in Northern Ireland to this day.
Well, that team went 37 games without defeat, and it started in one Easter and finished in another Easter, but still didn't win the league.
Yeah, remarkable. And Again, you've played your part in memorable European experiences, and the club are about to embark on another European campaign. Financially nowadays, it's again is almost a be-all and end-all.
I think when the last number of years, you're seeing that clubs are basing their budgets on qualifying for Europe, which is in one way a very shaky model to build a club on. It's great money, but you've got to be very careful that you're not dependent on it.
And again, in terms of players and squads, and the European trips are bound to be good, especially with new players coming into the club, building up a rapport with each other.
Well, you need the fellas mixing and getting on with each other. And you need a few good players in it. It's all about players. Players is good enough. You win things. If they're not, you don't.
Any particular standout moment? Obviously, you to this day, you're still talked about for your hat-trick against Kilmarnock. But the Spurs game that we touched on earlier, probably never see a crowd like this in the Showgrounds again.
Well, that was a big crowd because it was Tottenham Hotspur to me. But I mean, some great memories with Coleraine. These two lads here, I mean.
And as local fellas, as you mentioned earlier, to play for the club, but to go on and represent the club in Europe, to win trophies, it's something the rest of us can only dream about.
Well, I think for me it was a dream, and thankfully it came true. But people often ask, what's the highlight of playing at Coleraine, and they're quite surprised sometimes by my response, and that saying is getting the opportunity to play with the likes of these lads here, Dickie, Ivan, Johnny McCurdy, Davy Gordon, Sean Dunlop. People like that were in the team when I came into the team, and it was just fantastic to play with them. It just really was, and it was a young boy's dream to do that, and I managed to succeed, so delighted.
Season only finished, as we know, on Saturday, but the teams will be back training in a matter of weeks. The European campaign starts again in July. It's a massive incentive, as we mentioned earlier, with regards to the money for the club to push on and be challenging every season now.
I think that's what their idea is, try and get up in there. And, I think it's when you finish in the top 3 or top 4 or something, you're automatically into Europe, is that right?
Well, second spot, and then you go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And obviously we await the draw now for the new UEFA Conference League. But again, Frankie and Dessie and Ivan, it gives the players, especially young players, as an experience. You all went through it yourself, chance to travel to different countries, test yourself against the best.
Well, certainly, that's what it's all about. Young fellas who want to get into the team and mix with everything. A good trip overseas.
One of the trophies and trips going to Russia, etc. That was the first time we ever went to Russia.
I was 65, I think.
65, and it's young fellas, they want to be winning trophies, and they want to get into playing into Europe, playing against the best players in Europe.
And the future certainly looks bright at the moment. Oran's done a fantastic job over the last few seasons. The club appears to be challenging now every season. Hopefully, coming into the new campaign again, that's the way it's going to be.
We all hope so. Oran has done a fantastic job. Hopefully, the new playing surface will help him achieve what he wants in terms of a playing style. Possibly the addition of 1 or 2 more players in the summer will help just beef out the squad a bit. But, they've proved over the last number of years they're capable of competing, and let's just hope they can continue to do so.
And again, the ultimate is the title. We know it's going to be harder with the money that's coming into the clubs, your Crusaders, Larns, Glentorns.
Yeah.
But that is ultimately what we're after, another league title.
Well, I see Linfield's, they reckon Linfield will get £1 million.
Yeah.
So there's 3 or 4 players left in Linfield,
Yeah.
so they have to strengthen. Glentorn strengthen. Crusaders will strengthen. So that'll be all go. Coleraine will need to strengthen too. We're going to need to have
Guys, thanks very much for your time.
All right.